Hi, Guy Dumas here, or my real name, Nimihito Penese. I come from the Cree Nation in northern Manitoba. I am an author, an entrepreneur, and a self-proclaimed Indigenous economist. Thank you for visiting with me today. In this day and age of real uncertainty out there in the economic world, this means that there's also a great opportunity. And this opportunity is probably going to come and go just like most cycles that happen. Things that occur in our economy, it rises and it falls. And this opportunity that I'm referring to is related to the monetary policies and the money that we use. The opportunity that we have today is that we could take our own monetary policy. We can create our own monetary plan. Who says that we need to wait for government to do that for us when we could do it ourselves? There's a lot of different ideas out there about the monetary policy and the monetary issues that we have, and we need to take responsibility for all of them. Growing up, we were never taught the value or even the concept of money. In fact, we didn't even know we were poor. So growing up as a kid, we experienced many challenges that had to do with the way that the economy worked, with little or no realization of anything. And so growing up, there was really nothing there for me to understand or to know. And so I struggled through the teenage years and into my early adolescent years because I had no grounding, no education in finance or economics or anything that had to do with how money worked or how any of that worked. It was all foreign to me. And it was just recently that I began to understand that it just plays a pivotal role in almost every aspect of my life. So what I'd like to do is I'd like you to teach you a framework that's based on a native perspective perhaps, or an indigenous philosophy on money, finances, and economics. And it's not a new idea, it's an idea that's been around for thousands of years. So I'm just presenting it into a new framework. In First Nations country or in the indigenous philosophy, you've heard concepts of the medicine wheel teachings and the seven grandfather teachings. Well, the way that I'm going to wrap this framework is going to be based on the concept of the seven grandfather teachings. If you know anything about these teachings, then understand that I'm framing it in such a way to help us understand our relationship with money, economics, business, entrepreneurship, social business, social economy, and all of that. When I talk about the seven grandfather teachings, it's not necessarily in a hierarchical manner or in a step-by-step fashion. These seven grandfather teachings happen simultaneously, all at the same time. However, just to ensure that we get the idea of what that is, I'm going to just briefly touch on each of them as we proceed through the presentation here. Before you start on any aspect of life, especially your relationship with money, especially your relationship with how the economy works and everything else that's associated with how money works, the first place that you need to start is with courage, the grandfather teaching of courage. And once you wrap your mind around that idea of how you need to be courageous to be able to address the many issues, the many myths, misconceptions, the many ideas that we've been conditioned regarding money from both the government, the central planners, the banks, the institutions, all these people that have a vested interest in keeping us ignorant. The other stages that I'm going to be talking about are going to be very brief, and I'm just going to start off with the idea again is that it has to be based on courage. Once you have courage, then you move up to the other stage or the other level. And keep in mind, I'm not talking about this in a hierarchical manner. As I mentioned, these all happen simultaneously. So the next grandfather teaching is respect. In order to have respect for the finances or for the money or for the monetary policy or for the economics that happen in our life, we have to have a certain respect in ourselves first before we portray that respect to the aspects that are affecting our everyday life. Once we have that, then we have to actually experience the next grandfather, which is humility. we have to be humble enough to know that we won't necessarily know all the answers. We won't be the best in everything. We won't become rich overnight. We won't become prosperous tomorrow. It will take some time for us to be able to learn all these lessons. We have to decondition ourselves from all these lies, all these teachings, all these different things that we've been exposed to through the media. And once we have the humility to accept that, then we can move on to the other steps. And the other steps is that we have to be honest with ourselves. We have to be honest that we don't really know anything about money or how it really affects each and every one of us. We just know that when we get it, we want to spend it, or we want to invest it, or we want to do something with it. So we have to be honest with ourselves in what we do with that. And once we do that, then we know we will see truth. Truth is a very important idea in the grandfather teachings, because once you see what's really happening out there in the economic world, then you'll begin to understand. Then you'll be able to wake up to what's going on. And then when you have truth, it naturally falls into wisdom. Wisdom about what's going on with the world, what's going on in the economy, what's going on with the different things that are affecting us every day. And then finally, love. Not for the love of money, but the love of prosperity, the love of abundance, the love of being able to live a certain quality of life. So to summarize the grandfather teachings that I've been talking about are respect, humility, honesty, truth, wisdom, and love. Those are the 7 grandfathers that we need to keep in mind as we proceed to the next lessons that I'll be following. As we proceed through the lessons that we'll be following, we need to keep in mind that there are 4 stages within the framework that I'll be talking about as well. This includes the concept of poverty, the concept of basic living or just getting by, the concept of sufficiency, that sure you've made enough, you don't really worry about money, and then the concept of abundance. So those 4 ideas I'd like you to keep in mind as we proceed through these presentations. So why am I talking about all of this? Why am I addressing this issue about money and being able to handle that and being able to leverage the resources and everything that comes into our life? You know, it took a little while for me to wake up with this understanding that I have today about money and economics and business and entrepreneurship, that it does take a little bit of education, a little bit of learning. It really took an incident for me to be able to realize what was going on in the world. So yeah, if you have any questions about where does money coming from, how does it work, who decides, where does it come from, all these different questions that you may have, I will be addressing those questions in the next couple of videos that will be following this one. And so I encourage you to challenge your assumptions, your beliefs, your ideas about money, how you interact with money, the relationship you have with money, how you spend, how you save, how you invest, how you basically use money, how it affects you, how your mood may go up and down, how your mood may change, how your physiology may change, and all of these things. I challenge you to really take a good look at your relationship with money, because that's where it begins. Once you're able to handle the relationship or be able to establish a certain kind of relationship with money and currency, then you're in a position to be able to create the kind of lifestyle, the kind of abundance that only a few thousand, maybe I'm exaggerating on that I've mastered the issue with money. So I ask you to get involved, email me or text me or find a way to get a hold of me, and I'll certainly engage you on different issues. I look forward to meeting with you on the next video, and thank you for paying attention to the thoughts that I've been sharing in this video. Thank you. Miigwech. Ginanaas kumitin.